We will begin the regular press conference by Foreign Minister Kamikawa. Please go ahead. I have one item at the top. Today, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs delivered a letter of appointment to the 15th Grand Master of the Urasenke School of Tea to serve as the special advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Mr. Sen Genshitsu was asked to become our special advisor for the first time in 2017. Ever since, we have been asking for renewal of his appointment, and this will be the 7th appointment. Sen Genshitsu, as the 15th Grand Master of the Urasenke School of Tea, and for over half a century after he handed over the position of Grand Master to his successor, has been contributing by introducing the spirit of Japanese culture through the way of tea, and has made great contributions to mutual understanding through the way of tea and international cultural exchange. He is a major contributor to the peace diplomacy being driven by the government of Japan. Every time I visit foreign country as the foreign minister, I am reminded of the power that Japanese culture has to communicate to the people around the world, and that the diverse charm of Japanese culture is loved by various different groups around the world. Foreign ministers of other countries are always demonstrating high-level interest towards Japanese culture, such as way of tea and washoku. Japanese culture is the source of soft power for Japan's diplomacy, and with the cooperation of Mr. Sen Genshitsu, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will inject further efforts to communicate the beauty of the Japanese culture, and through two-way exchange with various countries, we will promote cultural diplomacy. Thank you.
Please raise your hand if you have any questions. When you're designated, please come to the microphone nearest to you and state your name and affiliation. Igarashi-san from NHK, please. Igarashi from NHK. Thank you for this opportunity. I'd like to ask about Iran, if I may. As you know, there was a crash of a helicopter, and President Raisi and all the members on board were killed. There were also being held throughout Iran. I understand that new election to select new president will take place on 28th of next month. What is the evaluation for Japan, and what will be the impact on the Middle East diplomacy for Japan? I would appreciate your response. Thank you. Thank you very much. The Iranian government has announced, I understand, that with the aforementioned crash of the helicopter, President Raisi and Foreign Minister Dr. Abdullahian all passed away. All the members on board passed away. As for myself, with regard to Foreign Minister Dr. Abdullahian, I first met him back in September of 2023 when the first leaders meeting between Japan and Iran took place. And since then, I've been able to accumulate candid exchange through the meeting in Geneva in December 2023, as well as two phone talks. I'm very sad about the passing of Dr. Komboli. I'd like to express my deepest condolences to the government of Iran, the people of Iran, and the bereaved families, and to offer my sincere prayers for the repose of the souls of President Raisi, Foreign Minister Abdullahian, and others who passed away. As far as Japan is concerned, we have placed emphasis on peace and stability in the Middle East region. Going forward, we would like to leverage the very positive relations which we have built with countries in the Middle East, inclusive of Iran. We will continue to coordinate with relevant countries, and we will active diplomatic efforts for the relaxation of tensions in the Middle East and for the stability of the situation. With the passing of President Raisi, I understand that on June 28th, a presidential election is being scheduled. Inclusive of this trend pertaining the election, we will continue to monitor the situation with great interest. Thank you.
Next question, Mirjan-san of Anadolu Press. Mirjan of Anatolia Press. I have a question regarding Middle East crisis. Prosecutor Khan of ICC has made an announcement to seek arrest warrant for Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gallant and Hania of Hamas and Shinwa and Dave. Netanyahu and Gallant are being charged for criminal charges on humanitarian crimes against the people, and that is the basis of Prosecutor Khan. What is the evaluation by Japan regarding this action taken by Prosecutor Khan of the ICC? On May the 20th, Prosecutor Khan of the ICC, in response to the situation in Palestine, decided to ask for the arrest warrant to the pre-trial chamber to Sinwar, head of the Hamas, Masri Ordif, commander-in-chief, and Hania, head of Hamas political bureau, and Prime Minister Netanyahu and Defense Minister Gallant of Israel. It is our understanding that the pre-trial Chamber 1 will study this request, the evidence that has been submitted by the prosecutor, and other information to come up to a decision on whether the arrest warrants are to be issued or not. As a member of ICC, Japan will continue to watch the situation very closely with high level of interest from the perspective of the impact that this would have to the Israel-Palestine situation.
Next question, Adelbridge Hamamoto-san, please. Thank you very much. My name is Hamamoto from Adelbridge. I want to ask about the Ukrainian situation, if I may. Ukraine has said that they're fighting for freedom for all the world. Now, the tenure of President Zelensky has come to an end yesterday. President Zelensky, because of the martial law, because of the emergency situation, has not carried out any election up until now, and he has excluded his political enemies. The country is no longer free. It is no longer democratic. Is there a reason why Japan should support Ukraine, a country without rule of law? And also, LTP is trying to introduce a similar emergency situation provision. If this could be introduced, we could have a similar situation in Japan. Minister, do you believe that the national emergency right should be introduced in Japanese constitution, although this could lead to a very critical situation where Hitler first emerged in the past? With regard to domestic relevant law in Ukraine, with regard to martial law, if the tenure of the president of Ukraine were to come to an end during the martial law, then there's a provision that the tenure of that president could be extended up until such time as the martial law is lifted, and the election for the new president could be conducted. I understand that there is a provision that prohibits implementation of the presidential election until under martial law. As far as the aforementioned martial law is concerned, I understand that it is being routinely approved at the Parliament of Ukraine. If I may mention, based on this situation, we must not forget that the situation in Ukraine is due to the aggression of Russia into Ukraine. As far as Japan is concerned, we would like to see fair, just, and lasting peace to be realized in Ukraine as soon as possible. We believe that the security of Europe and Indo-Pacific is inseparable, and so we should coordinate with countries among the G7 as well as the Global South, and we should continue on with very severe, stringent Russian sanctions, and we should continue with robust Ukraine situation. That position remains unchanged. Next question, please.
Asahi Shimbun, Matsuyama-san. I have a question regarding domestic politics. On the 18th, you went back to your hometown Shizuoka for the prefectural gubernatorial election, and in your support, you made a comment regarding her and then withdraw that comment. And then this person disclosed that there was a phone call from the 19th. What kind of conversation was there? And were there any advice? The Chief Cabinet Secretary has said that he wants you to continue to serve as the Foreign Minister, but what are your thoughts or plans going forward? Regarding that comment, the press reports, or I was told that it may be interpreted in a different manner than what I had intended to say, and I took that advice sincerely. And to Chief Cabinet Secretary Hayashi, I explained to him my vision as such. Rich and bright Japan Japan, respected by all people around the world, must be handed over to the next generation, and therefore I will concentrate my efforts to serve as the foreign minister of this country.
Sankei Shimbun, Haraka-san, please. Haraka from Sankei Shimbun. I want to go back to your remark on the 18th. You retracted those remarks. Now, as far as this particular remark is concerned, with regard to the media press coverage, you mentioned that this has led to, if you will, a misconception. And I understand that members of the media, members of the parliament, and also members of the civic society are engaged in discussions about the press coverage. Now, based on the Kyoto Press English version, and I'd ask a question based on the Japanese translation of this. The title of the article was Japan's female minister queries Japan's women's worth without birth in election speech. So that was the English version, English press language coverage. Then Ms. Takako Suzuki, a member of the parliament, has used X. And she said that retraction will no longer be sufficient to correct this misconception. So this type of discussion is emerging. I was not there at the place where you conducted the speech, but the fact that this English language coverage is being carried out, the fact that your comments led to such English language coverage in the press, I wanted to confirm your understanding of the situation, and also inclusive of the various responses to these articles. Minister, how do you see the response from the various four media circle? Thank you. That is my question. Thank you. With regard to the comment in question, I wanted to quote out that we should create a new future with the power of the women. But I'm afraid my words could be taken differently from my true intention. And accept that view, and sincerely respect that view. That is why I have decided to retract this remark. I think that is all I can say at this juncture about this particular comment. Thank you. We'd like to end the press conference at this juncture. Thank you for your participation. This is the end of the conference.